Alright, guys, what's the topic of this gonna be? I think nothing as of now, like nothing too deep, because I actually thought of a lot of topics, but I didn't really want to jump into them too early and too quickly because I think there's a lot of very important topics among them and amongst them, and I don't wanna like open up too soon because this is still a new thing, and I think I need time to actually process this before I'm sure that I actually want to talk about the things that I want to talk about. And that's actually one of the lighter topics that I thought of for today. Why it's necessary to talk. So I didn't make any notes for this. I'm just talking right out of my mind, my head, my heart, whatever you want to call it. And I think it's very important. So, first of all, why it's important to talk, or why I made this channel to just talk, because as it's the same reason to why I make music and write lyrics and stuff. It's because I want to express some sort of thing that's inside of me and that needs to get out, and I don't know how else it would be able to get out if not in form of art. So that's basically why I started to write songs, because as an outlet, as a way to deal with emotions, with certain areas of my life. But I'm sure you all notice. I'm sure it's the same for you, because to be honest, I think everyone who starts some sort of art sees it as a way to express themselves, and there's few people who just do it for shits and giggles. I'm sorry, or for money, because I mean, I don't know if that works out. Like, I think there has to be some sort of fire burning in you to do this stuff. And that's also why it's so difficult to, at least for me, to satisfy myself, because I always want to make stuff that rises to a certain level, and if I don't reach that level, then I'm not satisfied with myself. So basically what I'm trying to say is that it's like hard enough to write lyrics, and I kind of already talked about this a little bit in the previous first video, and that's because I have a feeling that they need to be good, and if they're not good, then it's not a good song. And that's a little sad actually, because I'm not convinced that lyrics need to be good in order to express something. So, of course, it's annoying for me if I rhyme the word night to the word right for the 100 millionth time. But if that's what I feel in the moment and that's what I'm able to express, then I think it has a right to be there, because it's the same thing with riffs and music and structure. It doesn't need to be complicated. Sure, there's a time for it. Like, I don't know, take Polyphia, for example, or progressive metal. It's extremely complicated music, and I like it. Like, there's definitely a place for it, but it's just not me. For me, music is not math. It's not something that's in your brain. It's mostly something that's in my heart. And that just sounded cheesy as hell, but I tell you, it's true. So I don't care how simple a song structure is, how simple my lyrics are, as long as they manage to express the things that I want to. And like I said, that's not always the easiest thing. So onto the real topic that I wanted to talk about. That's why I've decided to now make these talking videos, because I can go more into depth on the things that I want to express. Like, it's the same reason I do make music for. It's just because at the deepest level, I think I just want to be understood. And that can happen with music, but you know, music, as beautiful as it is, as it can be, it's still an abstract art form. And if I'm sitting here just talking, saying directly what I want to say, it's not that abstract anymore all of a sudden. So it really helps to kind of get the points across that I've always wanted to let the world know, without having to necessarily put them in songs. And actually now, as I'm talking, topics come into my mind, and it's actually way easier again to just ramble. Because something else I thought about is that you don't need to make every music. Again, you don't need to make every music. I have very often the problem, first of all, that I think my music is not good enough or not complicated enough. And, well, of course it's not good enough. No one thinks their own music is good enough, but that's a whole different topic. But like I said before, earlier in this video, I feel like it's not complicated enough, and it's like not really what I intended it to sound like when I had the idea. And sometimes it sort of pisses me off, because you know, I want to be able to perfect my ideas into real things, into things that I planned out, and into things that I knew beforehand how they were gonna sound. But then I was thinking, and I thought, but then we're in the brain again, because you're planning something out. If you write a song, and then you record the song, you perform the song, and you finish the song, you produce the song, it's always gonna portray how you feel in this exact moment, which is, in my opinion, way more valuable than just something that's planned out from beginning to finish, and it just has to be this exact, it has to follow this exact plan without any room for your current state of being. I hope you can follow me, because I can feel myself that my thoughts are already up there. But yeah, that's sort of what I came up with. And also, it's to come back to the statement I made earlier. You don't have to make every music. What I mean by that is, you know, I listen to a lot of stuff. I listen to metal, indie rock, country, some forms of pop music, some forms of hip-hop music. And whenever you're in like a certain phase, I'm pretty sure there's like certain phases to life, like to life in general, and also of course music wise. One day I listen to heavy metal a lot, the next day I listen to country a lot, and whenever I am in one of those phases, I kind of get the urge to want to be what I'm hearing right now, or want to create what I'm hearing right now. And then I've started to cover millions of songs that are like in different genres, and then I was upset when it didn't really sound like I wanted it to sound, because I got a certain style. Some things are easier, some things are harder for me, and that's okay, because you again don't have to make every kind of music, and it's okay to of course get influenced by a lot of different genres, and it's actually a good thing if you can pull out things you like from different genres and different songs and put them into your own stuff. But you don't have to make one specific genre, and you especially don't have to make them all, because alright, I'm into two things I'm into at the moment. I'm very heavily into heavy metal at the moment, Iron Maiden and stuff, and Halford, and just, yeah, that stuff. Where originally I came from grunge music. That's what I primarily listened to for a long time. And now I kind of drifted off to heavy metal, and also at the same time a little country on the side, because I found out that my voice actually suits country pretty well. I've heard from different people and also from recordings that it's true. However, I don't want to let myself get limited by that, of course, but it's important to play into your strengths, I feel. And now that I listen to, I'm already drifting off again. Now that I'm listening to these types of genres a lot, I noticed that I, in my songwriting, want to adapt myself to the things I'm listening, which is, I guess, a natural development, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't just have to be. I can still make music that's sort of how I started, emo, hip-hop, guitar stuff. Like I've grown out of that a long time ago. It's still okay to make those things. Like you can still make your own thing even if you're consuming something entirely different, and you don't have to listen to a song and say, wow, I have to make this. I definitely I want to try this genre out. Of course, like if you're having fun with it, go ahead and do it. It's like nothing better in my opinion than an artist who like explores their different sides. But if you're only do it as long as you're having fun with it. If you feel like it gets a necessity and you have to master every genre, then I think that's not really your purpose. That's not how it's supposed to be, because you're your own person for a reason, and you create your own stuff for a reason. And that's why I say it's okay to be influenced, because we have different influences in life, and that's only natural. So it's also very natural to pull different things out of the things you like and the things you consume and the things that influence you. But You don't have to, just because you feel obligated to imitate your momentary role models. I think that's a sentence that gets it to the point pretty well. You don't have to imitate your role models just because you want to live up to their standards, because their standards are not your standards. You can be in a heavy hip hop phase, and we've all been there, or at least I've been there, and still make your like little songwriter songs. You don't have to change up your whole you don't have to change up your whole style just because you like something that someone else has found for their own style. Just listen to it, enjoy it. Don't try to find out like the chord progression, because it sucks the magic out of the song. It makes you lose feeling for the song. Like there's music I listen to when I want to look out the window and basically think, and sometimes I get the urge to just try to play it on guitar and sing it, and then I'm like, no, I can do that with any other song, but this song, as long as it still means something to me, I don't want to ruin it for myself, because then it's not like this magical chord progression and this beautiful lyric and this whole song. I tend to pick it apart and see it as a chord progression, as G, A, F, for example. I don't know, just a random example, and then I have to analyze like when to sing in a certain way and how to make it sound good. And when I'm done and when I'm able to like perform the song, it's already too late, because the song doesn't mean anything to me anymore. So I think that's the main thing that I wanted to say. Sure, play your music, play music that you like, play music that you sound good at, but don't play all music. You don't have to make every music work for you. Put a few songs aside to just enjoy and not worry about, and actually don't even try to write something similar, because it will never work out. It's just you and not them. And I think that's it for this one. Just some thoughts floating around. Yeah, let me know what you think about it.